Brain. What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Brain, but how can you have a duck dynasty if none of the people are ducks?
God damn it, Pinky. Can't you get at least one fucking thing right?
Alright, so kind of looking at this a little bit, and Zip pointed out that there is a little bit of a chip out right around that fret marker. So what I've got is some crazy glue and rosewood dust. So I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I think what I'm going to do is take the toothpick, put a little crazy glue on a toothpick, stick it around the edge of that fret marker, trying to get it into there, and then drop some dust on top of it, see if it'll take. So I can't hold the camera and do this at the same time, so I'm going to have to put the camera down. So I'll show you the outcome.
What you doing, Brain?
Reading history, Pinky.
Oh, I love doing that, but I always forget to buff the crown.
There's a little bit of crazy glue and some rosewood powder, which is still on there right now. I'll blow that off once it dries. And
Well, I think so, Brain. But if Jimmy cracks corn and no one cares, why does he keep doing it?
all right, welcome back. This will be the last part of the setup of this guitar before it's actually given away. And I do have to say something, give somebody a big shout out to Zip Fix Guitars. I have to thank him very much, and hopefully this will be a shout out for him, that for pointing out a little bit of a chip out around the fret marker over here, which I ended up filling. And I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper and kind of go over a little bit without hitting these frets. I didn't see it, and he saw it in my last video, so I got to thank him. I appreciate it very much. My eyesight is going pretty bad as far as seeing things up close, so luckily I have this five times zoom little eyepiece, and I think it's for maybe a microscope or something, telescope, probably telescope. And this came in very handy for helping me fix that. So what I did is I got some toothpicks, some crazy glue, and some rosewood dust. Pretty simple. I collected it from one of the previous jobs I did with putting inlays in the frets, or the fretboard. And thanks. I really appreciate it, Zip. So this is kind of what I like about the whole YouTube experience with other people and stuff. I'm not really afraid of criticism or anything. If there's something in a video that I've done that I did wrong, or something that could be done better, go ahead and leave your comments at the bottom. I really do appreciate the help. You know, I don't know everything about everything, and you know, if something can make it a little bit easier, you know, let me know. Same thing with playing. You know, if I'm playing something and I'm either doing it wrong, or I could be making it a little bit easier for myself by doing it a different way, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. You know, that's kind of what we're all here for.
So, Pinky.
Hello?
Well, what are we going to talk about?
Let me see. Well, we could talk about trying to take over the...
Don't even go there, Pinky. Shop talk is off limits tonight. I won't talk about taking over the world, and you won't talk about whatever it is you do. We'll just have to find something else to discuss.
Like what?
Oh, say, I know.
Alright, so right now I'm freehanding with the camera, and kind of something I wanted to go over with this guitar that I haven't gone over with yet, and that is the string action height at the first fret behind the nut. Now, the one thing I noticed about Ibanez guitars and ESP guitars is they do set the action height at the first fret for you. You know, it still might be a little bit on the higher side that maybe you want, maybe like 20 thousandths or so, but in this case here, and with a few other Ibanez guitars, other than having a locking nut here, I've noticed that the action height is very comfortable on their guitars. Other than like Gibson, that unless you pay for it to have that guitar set up, you'll end up working the nut yourself and getting the action height where you want it to be. And so far, the two Gibsons that I own, one is the SG, which I don't have to do anything with the nut. That one's pretty much good. But the Les Paul that I have, I had to set up the nut at the first fret to get my action height to weight. It was kind of on the high side. So on this one here, I've got an 18,000 shim, which is getting to be really hard to see the 18,000. It's right at the tip of my thumb. These things got tarnished and stuff because of the oil that kind of wiped off them, because they were kind of greasy, oily. So what I'm going to do is really nothing. Just slide the shim underneath the string. I'm going with the angle of the fret. And I don't know if you can hear the scratching sound. The string is not moving. And there is no play. I don't know if I can do, I can't do this with one hand. There is no play between the string and the shim. So 18 thousandths it is. I could drop it down to 16 thousandths. That might be pushing it a little bit. It might get a little fret noise at the first fret. You probably would have to add a little bit more relief to the neck, and that means that the action height is going to go up higher. As you know, we all know that adjusting the neck is going to change the action height. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave this thing where it is. It's kind of exactly where I want to put it. So next thing I want to do is to set up the intonation.
Pondering what I'm pondering, Pinky?
Sure, Brain, but how are we going to find chaps our size?
Alright, so back at it again. And right now I want to set the intonation before I set the pickup height. Turn my tuner on. And make sure the strings are in pitch still. Very, very close. Right now I have you guys propped up on a shelf. Now I stretched these strings out after I put them on, but they're still a little sharp. They're still doing their thing. And what I went was with the Ernie Balls Slinkies 10s, 10 to 46. A little bit more. Now you should be doing this in playing position, but I've noticed with some guitars that depending on where you put your little stand over here and how much pressure it's putting on your neck, like say if you put it over back, way far back by the headstock, then the stand will, the weight of the guitar will be putting pressure on the headstock, and that can throw off your tuning and everything else. I found the middle of the neck seems to be pretty good. And you're able to do this while it's in laying position as far as tuning it. But the ideal way to tune up a guitar, as you guys know, is in playing position, which means that you want to be, sitting with the guitar on your lap and doing the tuning and basically the setup. All right, so I got the low E string, and these screwdrivers have a protective coating on them to where they're not going to nick or scratch up the finish on the guitar. These are doing electrical stuff. One of the things that we used to do here at the house, we never hired anybody to do anything over here. We've always done it ourselves. So if there was a hot water tank that had to be installed, we did everything from removal, installation, soldering pipes, sweating pipes, everything. And even electrical, we're putting in a furnace, we don't pay anybody to do anything. We do it all ourselves. So, set the intonation on this thing. Damn, that's right on. That can go forward a little bit. Tune it back up again. A little bit more. Not much. And make sure you push on that, because that little spring is not going to help that much. So, and you want to make sure that these things are not loose to where they'll back out on it by themselves. So tighten it up a little bit. Tune the guitar back to pitch. Just a hair more. Alright, so I'm going to do something here that maybe some of you guys are not going to like. Forcing that forward. A little bit sharp. Oh, just a little bit more forward. Man, I'm not turning it enough, that's why. So let me pop this thing again. There you go. I hate doing that, but sometimes you're not going to get these things to go forward. Right where I want it. Just gotta go forward just a little bit. About the same thing I did for the last one. So I'm gonna overshoot it a little bit, pop it, because these springs are not gonna move this by themselves. Here it's out of tune now. All right. A little bit more. And I gotta pop it. Just to get that to move forward a little bit. Like I said, these springs, they don't do much at all. A little sharp. Drop it down a little bit. There you go. Bingo, right on the money. There you go, right smack dab in the middle. Perfect, that one's fine. A little bit forward. And again, I gotta pop it, so you guys are gonna like it. I don't like doing it anyway either, but it's the only way really to get to move forward unless you loosen the string up. Alright. One thing you gotta be careful when you're doing the intonation this way is you want to make sure you push flat down on the string, not push the string off to one side. So you want to be perfectly flat. Just a little bit more, not much. Again, I don't like doing it that way, but it is what it is. Retune. It's like every time you do something with a guitar, you must retune that guitar. Alright? A little bit more, not much. Bingo. Gonna move forward just a little bit. Actually, I'll move it forward a lot. Let's see how that works. Move it up just a little bit more. I would call that done. Alright, so the next thing, pickup height. These things are great for doing pickup height. So I'm going to start moving these guys up because they are down pretty far. And I'll go from there because I end up moving the pickup out of the way because I was doing the fret leveling and I did not want to hit anything. So I'm going to start with the treble side. Fret the last fret, put this under, put it right over the pegs, like to where the closest part of it is to the string. And let's see here, going up. A little bit more. Hopefully my head's not in the way. Okay, and then the bass side, which is a different one. A little bit tight. Okay, and let's do the bass side on this one. Gotta go up. If you're curious, this is a 1/8. Yeah, 1/8. And I'm using here. A little bit more. Gotta go down a little bit because I went up a little bit too high. Good. And the other one is a 332s for a treble side. Wow. This one I didn't move this pickup. A little bit more. I'm only moving a little bit at a time. All right, that's good. That's good. This will go up a little bit more. Good. And then the bass side. The old rule. Measure twice, cut once. Alright, so that's it. That's the setup for this thing. And she's done. So action height at the 12th fret is a little bit under 1.75, that's the millimeters. It's about it's a little bit under 175 and a little bit damn near close to, I didn't want to say it is, 1.5 millimeters. Yeah, it's 1.5 millimeters at the 12th fret on the low E. And then the bass slide is 1 millimeter. Or I mean, not the bass side, but the treble side is 1 millimeter. So that would be, this doesn't have 4/64 on it, so this is under 5/64 and right at 1/16 on the high side. So that's the setup. It's done. So I'll end up maybe doing a little bit of a playing around with it, and that'll be it for now. But thanks for watching, and we will be sending this out soon. What is it, another few more days, or next week, Monday I think it is, something like that. Yeah, so be on the lookout. Take it easy.